Hello and welcome to Sharon Local History. In this video, I would like to introduce you the Dwight Derby House, which is in Medfield, Massachusetts. It is located on 7 Frary Street, and it is one of the oldest houses in United States. So, as I said, it is in town of Medfield. Here is a map. It's pretty easy to find. You can Google it. It is on 7 Frary Street. The house is basically over 300 years old, and it's incredible how just walking into the house you are really stepping back in the history. It is now owned by town of Medfield. The town of Medfield purchased the property in 1996 and it was placed on National Register of Historic Places in 2002. Shortly after Dwight Derby House was bought by the town of Medfield in 1996, the Friends of the Dwight Derby House Inc. was formed to restore, manage, and share its historical significance with the community. Thanks to generous donations, grants from Massachusetts Historical Commission and the National Trust, the house has been able to endure structure and exterior repairs. The Friends did incredible job, and I hope that from this video you will be able to see how amazing job they did preserving the history. So the Dwight Derby House is one of the oldest intact houses in United States. It started in 1651 and the next addition was done in 1850. The house sits on a half-acre property. That's the original location, and it's overlooking Meeting House Pond, as you can see here. Beautiful. In 1651, Medfield was set off from Dedham and formally incorporated as a separate town settled by 13 individuals. One of the 13 settlers was Timothy Dwight, and he started constructing this house in 1651. The original lot boundaries comprised 12 acres. Timothy Dwight owned the land together with John Frary, who was another original settler. That's why the street is called Frary. The house is open to public few times a month, but please check out the website for exact hours. One part of the museum is a refinished room with an exhibit about the history of the building itself and previous owners. There are also knowledgeable docents that will always answer all your questions and give you a tour through the building. I was very impressed with the preservation efforts of the Friends of Dwight Derby House. They did an incredible job. The house was originally a single room with massive, probably stone chimney at its western end and a chamber and garret above. Later additions wrapped around this nucleus to form what is now essentially a 5-room plan centered on a large brick chimney with open stairwell in the front. In this room you can see very impressive fireplace, Bollection molded fireplace surrounds and paneled fireplace walls. There are so many things to look at and it's impressive how well preserved it is. You can just imagine that most of the family was meeting in this room by the warm fireplace, catching up on sorts of odd jobs. This is a small kitchen on the side that was very sensibly refinished, and once again I love seeing the new next to old. The restoration was really well done. I was told that all the cabinets were stripped down and the hinges refinished. You can, by the way, rent this property. You will find the contact information on the website. The Dwight Derby House was home to different families for more than 300 years, the Dwights and Derbys having been the primary occupants. The house and the furnishing went through many changes, but the museum reflects the transition that occurred over the last 300 years. It is believed the house was originally a 2-story house. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the master of the house conducted his business in the parlor. The desk is placed between the windows for light, with chairs for his colleagues. The table against the wall is easily moved to the center of the room for dining and, of course, the warmth from the fireplace. The windows in this room probably date to the renovation done in 1760 by Timothy Dwight's grandson Seth. You can notice the signature of the glazier, Hugh C. Harrison, on the lower left pane on the window. That's very interesting. Sorry, it's hard to see on the picture, but the idea is there. Very, very cool. This is another small room behind the parlor that needs to be refinished, but it's very interesting to see the original walls behind the plasterboards. I just would like to remind you that Friends of the Dwight Derby House appreciate any kind of donations, small or large. So please do donate money if you love history and if you would like to preserve this house. You can walk upstairs and see another floor. The staircase is certainly gorgeous, and you can see the age on the floors. You can even see the indentations. So this was one of the bedrooms. A beautiful view of the pond. Some of the collections are changing, but I love viewing all the items that homeowners probably did use at some point. Another fireplace. The house has got really nice flow. This room is used right now as a research center. There is definitely tons and tons of research to do. They are still finding different pieces of historical artifacts. This is an old-fashioned crib from 17th century. There are more items added to the collection, and it gives you a feel how the life back then used to be. It's very interesting. This is a collection that the archivists have to go through. This is the Center for Research, and as you can imagine, just doing the research takes lots of time and resources. So once again, I would like to encourage you to donate money. When you walk around, you can see many exposed areas. This area made me giggle, a bathroom with the view. However, somebody can view you as well. So this was the part that was eventually added. That's why there is a window from the hall still. Small tap, right? But very interesting. The house has got a few staircases. This must be one of the original maid's staircase. Here I took a short video just to show you how the floors look like. Of course, they are restored and painted a few times. This is a staircase that goes to another level, so that's the attic basically, which is not finished, but maybe one day it will be. There is another little fancy room for research, and I imagine board meetings. I love that many people over the years donated pictures of the building. The house was refinished over the years. However, I'm very pleased to see a few places where the walls were not finished on purpose. On the contrary, they are exposed. So you can see the original walls and construction, like those incredible beams. This wall, it looks like really one of the original walls. Look at the thickness of it. That was at least 18 inches long. Very incredible. Here you can see how the beams were attached together and marked by the craftsmen. Again, exposed walls that really make you feel like you are back in the day. Here are a few collections. that are very fitting for the museum, such as this antique dress and a collection of antique hats. I imagine over the years the collection will grow. This is another bedroom upstairs. It is really almost feels like a time capsule, and you can kind of imagine the stories of the people that live in this house. Very, very well refinished, beautiful. Um, Once you finish touring the house, you can go on the back of it where there is a small barn that serves as a farming museum. It is a really very interesting collection of farming equipment. This, for example, is a large sled, as you can see right here. So you see the equipment for attaching horses, for lack of words. There is an old antique plowing equipment here, some old beams, and other items that were used in the farming life. Just imagine how much effort and work it was. I am sure this will get sorted out at one point, and there will be more story behind the equipment. Those I know, they are for food for horses. Um, and when you admire the barn, pay attention to the beams because it's really incredible how well built they were, how they were attached. Those if those beams could speak, that there will be lots of history knowledge there. There's more equipment here from saws to wheels and hoes. Again, I cannot get enough of those beams. It's simply incredible. We can only wish they build houses like that now. And once again, considering we live in a place with carpenter ants, it's very impressive how much of this property was preserved. I am sure the owners took good care of the house, and since 1996, the Friends of Dwight Derby house took over and are doing incredible job preserving it. Once again, I cannot stress enough that they rely on donations. So if you can, please do visit this great place. Medfield by itself is a beautiful town of, I think, 12,000 people. There is Medfield Historical Society, which is, I believe, open at the same time. They coordinate the times. So you can visit the Medfield Historical Society as well and pop by. If you are doing cleanup at home and you own antique farming equipment or any items from the period of last 350 years, you may want to consider Friends of Dwight Derby House and ask them if they would like to accept them and perhaps have them in their collection in the future for many people to admire. This incredible wood stove is in the barn. I hope somebody will refinish it one day. The original owner of the house, Timothy Dwight, owned over 12 acres. Um, you can only imagine how much work they had to do. And now it's just grass and some pine trees. However, I am sure that if they dig in, they can still explore more and find more pieces. This is one of the last pictures of the house. I just wanted to show you how beautiful it is and how rich in history. The Medfield Pond is amazing, and the view of the church. You can also go for a little walk around the pond and admire the area. So if you visit this place, I'm sure you will not be disappointed. It is a lovely few-hour visit. Visit the website before you go to check for the hours and learn a little bit about families that own this house for, I keep saying 300, but it's more like 350 years, really. There's email address here. You can look at the website, which is Dwight Derby House, all one word, .org. So this is the end of the video. I just took some pictures and short videos. I used my very basic knowledge that I learned as a visitor, and I wanted to share it with you and encourage you to visit. So please, if you have time, if you're looking for a nice day trip, visit the Dwight Derby House in Medfield. Thank you for watching Sharon Local History.